Welcome back to the channel, everyone, for another ESO build video. I'm Fuzzy Juggernaut. Today I'll be showing you my GankPlar 2.0 for the Markarth and the current Stonethorn patch. But first, before I get into the build, if you like this video or the content on this channel, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and push that notification bell to get the latest content from this channel. Now let's get into it. So, I changed one set on the build, but the old build is still very viable. So if you don't want to run this setup, you can just stay with the old version. It's completely up to you. Overall, this is one of my favorite builds to play with, and I've enjoyed playing with it over the past 3 to 4 years. But enough talk, let's hop into the build. We'll head on over to it. Here we are, let's get into the character sheet. So our stat pools look really low, but that's okay. This is all unbuffed. Our damages go up to 6k, I assure you that. Just half of our damage is not going to ever be on your stat sheet because of the sets we're wearing, so don't worry about that too much. We're sitting at 30,000 magicka, 1167 recovery, which I know is low. You can use certain other foods to boost that up if you want. I highly recommend keeping all the jewelry infused. When I get to that, we'll go over that, but you can put an arcane on if you want, especially if you go into non-CP. You can put like one piece of jewelry for arcane for a little more sustain, along with magic recovery. It's completely up to you though. We're sitting at 22k health and almost 12,000 stamina. We have 3,237 spell damage unbuffed. Like I said, when we go buffed up, it'll be 6k, 60% spell crit. Low resistances, but that's okay because we're going to be going in and out of stealth, and you can put misform on the back bar so you can escape sticky situations. Now I have 54 points into magicka, 10 into health. You don't have to run it like this. I was testing out some other builds on this guy, so I had left it like this. I just haven't switched it back. We're already super squishy, but you can keep it. It will give you a little extra boost to your health, but pretty much we're going to be a glass cannon, and we're going to be relying on our vampire abilities and passives to stay alive if we get caught out in the open. Mainly, we get 50% increase into our sneak and stealth abilities, so it's just by clicking down on your joystick or whatever and going back into stealth. It's pretty easy to do, you just got to get used to it. I know it's not the easiest ever, but you'll figure it out. You can put them all back into magicka if you'd like. Either way works. I am running the Thief or the Mundus on here, and I am still a dark elf on this build. You can go high elf or whatever you'd like, it's completely up to you. The reason I run the Thief is to give me that extra percent crit. I found that when I was at like 49% crit or 50% crit and having the shadow, when it did crit, it was really nice, but it just didn't crit often. Even though we were at 50%, I only critted like maybe 3 times out of 10, which was horrible in my opinion. When I put it on the Thief on, and I went almost to 60% crit, about actually 7 out of 10 times I would crit, and that allows for not just our dark flare to crit, but also our Jesus beam and our javelin and all that stuff too. So as a 3-hit combo, if you hit the Jesus beam, or if you hit the dark flare along with the javelin at the same time, when they hit it at the same time, if one crits, the other will crit almost guaranteed automatically, and it crits for a lot. I was hitting almost 60,000 on dummies, which I'll put a little thing out on how to play this in a couple days, but we'll get into that later. For the food, I'm running Clockwork Citrus Filet. You can run whatever you'd like. If you want a little more stats and don't really care about the regen, you can go with Be with Sugar Skulls or Tri-Stat Food, whatever's cheapest for you. This food's sort of expensive, so it's completely up to you what you'd like to run. I am a stage 2 vamp on here. It does make the cost a little bit hefty on here, but sometimes it's worth it, so you can play around with it if you want. You get the extra 200 to 300 damage for coming out of stealth. In the beginning, I didn't really care for it because it didn't really make a difference to me, but I've been playing it with this and it seems to work a little bit, so it's up to you. Go into our inventory real quick. So my pots that I'm running spell pots. This is going to give us our major sorcery along with our major prophecy, and then it also gives us mana intellect too. So we get recovery, spell crit, and spell damage. It's a must-have if you really want to go. Let me pop one real quick so we can see where we're at. And this is still not fully buffed up either. So we're sitting at 3884 plus when you take keeps and other stuff. Plus we're missing 600 damage from our other set too. And then with some of our skills, when we use some of our skills, it'll boost us all the way up to 6k. So our first set we're going to be running is going to be New Moon Acolyte. I got Nirnhone on here with the weapon damage enchant because we really don't use the staff that much, but you can throw a light attack in every once in a while. This is going to give us our crit, this is going to give us our spell crit, our spell damage, physical penetration, which is nice, and then it's going to give us almost 400 weapon damage and spell damage. For spell damage wise, it's just a little bit more than, it's like 40 more than our Soul Shine, but the 1500 spell penetration really helps out. So I was noticing I was hitting like for 2 to 3k more damage, which was really nice. So that's why I went with this set. You're gonna lose a little sustain though because you get no magic as you get with the Soul Shine. So it's completely up to you. You can stick with the old one. The old one still works very well too. Restoration staff on the back bar powered. Magic damage restores health. Then I'm running Slime Cross still. This is infused. Preferably you'd want divines. We're going to be running all divines on all pieces. So just Slime Craw monster set, head and shoulders, and then New Moon chest. I just put this because it's craftable and it was heavy. So I put a heavy piece, so we have one heavy piece just for a little more resistances and to boost that health up a little bit. Then the rest is War Maiden. All the rest of the pieces are going to be War Maiden on the body, and they're all divines with max magic enchantments on everything. Then we have New Moon Acolytes jewelry, infused with spell damage on 2 pieces right here. All 3 are going to be infused. Then I have War Maiden ring, and this one's also infused. Preferably if you can get it golded out, that's going to give you a lot more weapon damage. I know it's only like what 14 or 16 or something like that, but honestly that all adds up too, and it will stack with the new moons. So if you can, go ahead, but it's really not a must. I mean, as long as you have purple, you should be fine. That's it for our sets. Let's go to our skills real quick. So same as the last build and the last video that I made of the GankPlar. This one we're going to be running Aurora Javelin. These are all the unbuff stats. This is a flex spot. You can put whatever you want here. I hardly even actually use this because I just melt people real quick with it. But you can put Elemental Drain for heavier targets. Put it on them. Dodge and weave or whatever for a little bit, stay hidden, and then go hit them, because this won't necessarily pull you out of stealth. It'll bring your eye open a little bit, but if you creep back just far enough, it will actually close back down. You'll have your elemental drain on them, and then you can go for your combo. Then we have Inner Light for our crit and to give us extra magic on the front bar. Then we have Dark Flare. This is our main ability. This is what you're going to want to hit first, along with then Aurora Javelin and then Jesus Beam. Sometimes you have to put 2 of these on a target and then Aurora Javelin and then Jesus Beam, but it's completely situational based on how tanky the target is and how well you get at hitting the combo together. This is unbuffed too. Then we have Radiant Oppression. This is our Jesus Beam, so it's going to annihilate him. Does 480 more percent damage to enemies below 50% health. This thing is pretty nasty. Then for finalized big targets and you hit them with the combos and they're almost dead but just not quite dead, or they're down to like 30% health, you hit them with this Soul Salt, and this actually goes to I think almost 100,000 when we're fully buffed up. That's a lot of damage over 6 seconds, so 100,000 magic damage over 6 seconds is really nice. Now we'll go to our back bar. This is just pretty much our buff bar and our oh shit bar, heals and all that stuff. Our heals are actually really insane on this build because we're rocking so much crit and so much damage that you can literally, even though we only have 22k health, you can pretty much heal yourself in one heal. It's pretty nuts. But like I said, if you do get caught down in the open, you'll get bursted down. I mean, you can, there's a couple of times, I'll put one in the video too. I'll be getting hit by multiple people and I can survive for a little bit, but once you run out of that magicka, you're pretty much done. So the first ability is going to be Channeled Focus. This is going to increase our resistances, nice little buff, and you know, you can step out of it and still get the resistances. It will give you a little more being standing inside of it. Extended Ritual. This is just our cleanse. We have Honor the Dead. This is going to be our heal. The heal goes actually a lot higher than this too when we're buffed up. Channel Acceleration. This is going to increase our critical damage and our speed while we're in stealth. That's how I'm able to run so fast while I'm in stealth. And then we have Simmering Frenzy. Now this is another flex spot. You can put whatever you'd like on here. Simmering Frenzy, I will warn you, I use this half the time and then the other half of the time I don't. So Simmering Frenzy is disgusting, especially when you let it go and tick all the way down. Your damages go insanely high. I think you can actually go even higher than 6k on this build. I try not to let it go there though, because 5k is more than enough. 6k is really nice, but you have no health. Now you can heal yourself up, but when you hit this, you're going to be on your front bar, back to your front bar when you're hitting people, and once you hit somebody, you're going to come out of stealth, so you have no health. So if anyone sees you and they're able, like a Nightblade or a Magblade or any character that can have a ranged attack, they can pretty much one-shot you if you get caught out in the open. But it is fun to run, and if you're at a distance, you can hit people pretty hard and get away with it. You just got to stealth back in and then hit your heal, which will pull you out of stealth a little bit, but then you just go right back into stealth. So it's completely up to you. If you don't want to run this, I run Elusive Miss sometimes too. Elusive Miss, you'll still be at like 5200 spell damage, and you'll be able to pretty much mist away, get out of stuff, and then try to stealth back in. Good damage mitigation. Also, if you don't want to run that and you want to run this, you can run whatever else you'd like here. It's completely up to you, but you can run Undo also. Will take you back to a spot, so you can run up, hit somebody with their combo, and then if you start getting bogged down, just hit Undo, come back, and stealth out. That's it for the skills. Champion points are going to be the same. I'll go into them real quick. So we got 40 into Warlord, 13 into Sprinter, 64 into Arcanist, 43 into Mooncalf, 59 into Befau, 20 into Tumbling, 31 into Shade, 72 into Elfborn for that crit, 64 into Elemental Expert, 53 into Spell Erosion. We have nothing into Bless because we're going full Glass Cannon damage build on this, so you don't need anything to Bless, and your heals are extremely strong as it is. 81 into Master Arms, nothing to that tree. 61 Ironclad, 30 to Resistance, 10 to Light Armor Focus to help boost our resistances. 48 to Thick Skin, 49 Elemental Defender, 49 Hardy, 23 Quick Recovery. This will help our heals. That's it for the champion points, and you can do the champion points how you see fit, but I'm telling you that works the best for the damage. So you can switch the red and the green tree how you'd want, but I would honestly leave the blue tree alone. I think that's about it for the build. Let's try to cover everything. If I missed anything, just let me know in the comments below. I was trying to make this a fast video. I appreciate everyone stopping by and checking out the video, and I'll see you on the next build. Peace.